You ready for cheat code number 3? Rotation. So if I was gonna come and knock you out, okay, and I just went boom, like this, I'm not putting a lot of power on that punch. Even though I punch as hard as I can, I'm not putting a lot of power on it if all I use is my arm. In all sports and all athletic endeavors, you generate more power by rotating. If I'm going to hit a baseball, if I'm gonna throw a football, if I'm gonna punch you, I'm gonna rotate, utilize your core. As you get further out, you must rotate more. I repeat, as you get further out, you must rotate more. And so another way we can generate a little bit of power is actually by rotating down the line. Rotating down the line. We're not rotating off the line. It doesn't matter where our feet point, it matters that our mechanism rotates down the line. Let's take a look at one of the best and see an example of this here. So first we notice that's another reason we tilt our feet, because tilting our feet allows for rotation. Now watch on his shot, notice how his entire body rotates. As he goes from starting his shot to landing on his shot, his feet rotate, which allows his upper body to rotate as well. Let's watch it one more time. Feet start tilted, and then as he lands, you're gonna notice that his foot actually rotates a little bit more. That rotation allows you to generate power. So let's see an example of what it might look like in a real game. Here's Fletcher McGee. Watch how his whole body rotates. Don't watch the ball on these shots, watch the body. Steph Curry, his whole body rotates down the line. Steph Curry, whole body rotates down the line. This rotation doesn't take you off balance. And it allows you not to jump way forward to generate power. It keeps you from falling back, which will steal your power. It allows you to actually jump and rotate down the line. Now, when you go out and work on this, I think one of the main things that you need to remember is you're not necessarily trying to rotate. Your body's gonna figure it out. But when you take the shackles off and allow your body to do what it needs to do naturally to get the ball there, you're gonna find that you feel a natural rotation. It's not something that you can measure and get real scientific or mechanical about. You gotta find your authentic amount of rotation. Those 3 things will help you generate power. Now, let's talk about the next way that you can generate power. Now, we've talked a lot about throughout our work that we have 3 positions in our shot that we're going to use as kind of vocabulary words to teach through. We've got our set position. The set position is very important, where we set our feet, right? We set our hands and we set our eyes with our quiet eye on the rim. Then what we call the next stage is our lift, is where we actually lift the ball up to our platter, to our pocket, before we actually push the ground and push the ball into our finish. Those are the 3 stages: set, lift, where very little happens with our body on the lift, and then the finish, where we really apply power to the ball, one smooth motion. So here's a couple of things in your lift that will actually allow you to get better power generation. Let's start with the handprint, and the handprint is really gonna allow you to speed up your shot and get good sequence. So here's what I want you to do. Just stand up right where you are right now, no ball, and I want you to go to what you've always been taught, which is old school. Get the hand behind the basketball, and then get your thumbs on a tee and get the other hand on the side of the basketball. And now we're in triple threat, okay? I don't believe in this old school triple threat. Triple threat is, please take the ball from me 3 times in a row, and then I'll be threatened of sitting on the bench for the rest of the game. You cannot play from this position, and if you have to get to this position to shoot the ball every single time, you're telegraphing to the whole world that you're going to shoot the basketball. So forget this old school triple threat. It also doesn't allow you to have as much wrist pronation. It also doesn't allow you to lift the ball very fast. Instead, all I want you to do right now is you're standing there, move it so that your thumbs can go into a clapping position. Okay, this handprint. Now just clap once. Now just clap once. Now just clap once. Feel old school. Feel new school. Feel old school, feel new school. You notice that my trigger finger, it's still in the center of the ball. I'm just rotating it from 0 degrees, and I'm just rotating it over about 45 degrees right here, 45 degrees. And then I just put my other hand opposite it, and this handprint allows you to rip the ball powerfully. This handprint allows you to then pronate your wrist, because it doesn't matter if your hand ever gets behind the ball. It only matters that at some point your hand gets under the ball. And the lift pronates the wrist, it flexes the wrist, it generates some dynamic flexion in order to apply more power to the ball. You're gonna be amazed about how much more rotation and spin you have on the ball, because we still get our trigger finger under the ball at the end. Let's take a look at, statistically, one of the best three-point shooters this season and their handprints. This is Duncan Robinson. Watch it slow-mo on the gather. Hand, hand. Notice how he goes from a handprint side to side. And notice the wrist pronation on the lift to get his hand under the ball. That is stinking pure. Handprint, handprint, handprint. That's going to really help your lift. Here's the next thing. You've probably had a coach tell you, and I'm just myth busting left and right for you right now. You've probably had a coach tell you before, don't dip the ball. Wherever you catch it from, just shoot it up because it'll make you faster. They're wrong. They're wrong. Tell them to at me and come shoot me for money if they disagree. All the best shooters dip because dip creates power. Dip creates rhythm. Dip gets buckets. So wherever you catch the ball from, you're going to have to get to set. You're going to have to set not just your feet, but you have to set your hands on the ball. And most passes aren't right here. Most of us don't have a gun or a rebounding machine passing to us from right underneath the hoop, perfect every single pass. In fact, nod your head with me right now if you know that most of the passes you get in a real game from your teammates are not good. Right. So what we must do is go from any strange place we gather the ball and we dip to get to our set position so that we can start our shot consistently. That dip gets our hands on the ball. And if you were to jump, in fact, right now, go ahead and stand up right where you are. If you were to go and jump as high as you could, I guarantee, actually do it right now. Jump as high as you can. Go ahead. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to hit my head on the ceiling right here, but you just did it. Okay. Do it one more time. The first thing you did was you dropped your hands so you could throw them up to the ceiling. That's a dip. Shooting's like jumping. We need to go down so that we can go up. That is why we dip. Don't take my word for it. Watch the best. Fletcher McGee, three-point record holder for the NCAA. Off the catch, dips to go up. Dips to go up. Ray Allen, dips to go up. Are you telling me Ray Allen has a slow shot? False. Kyle Korver, dips. You generate power, you generate speed. So start to practice with that dip. That's actually going to make your shot faster because you're not going to have to be so slow with your feet. It's going to speed up your feet as well. All right, talk about the next thing that we can do to lift a little bit better. Wrist pronation. We've been hitting on this pretty hard, but let's see a little bit more example of it. Remember, that's the exercise we did right here where we started with our palm up. And as we rotate our palm down, that's pronation. That's pronation. Handprint leads to pronation. Handprint leads to pronation, whereas this doesn't give us as much pronation. Let's see what this pronation can do. Take a look at Kyle Korver's wrist pronation here. Notice from the start of his shot, where his hand's on the side, how it pronates under, it's constantly rotating, and then you'll see the trigger finger continue that pronation down and through his release. Pronation isn't just on the lift, it's also through the finish. That's why we want to try to really visualize and feel our trigger finger going down, pronate down. As we start to go into more slow motion, you'll notice his guide hand is almost in front of the ball till the end. As it rotates, look at this guide hand. It's almost on the front of the ball, but the ball is actually loose and sliding along his guide hand. It slides out of his guide hand. You've probably had some coaches tell you before, like, get your guide hand off the basketball, or get that thumb out of your shot. We don't care about that. Get authentic with your shot. But what you need to do is you tilt your body as you handprint the ball, as you pronate your wrist, is as you go into your release, it's going to get out of there on its own. It's going to go from in front of the side to gone as we really get good at all these things together. It's going to become impossible for you to overly influence your shot with your guide hand if you do all of these things. They work together for the good of your shot. All right. Love this Steph Curry picture. This is how I want you to start to freeze your finish. Remember, set, lift, and finish. Your finish is going to help you generate power as well, especially when you understand that it doesn't matter if your feet align with the basket. It just matters your follow through aligns with the basket. His feet are not pointed at the rim. His follow through is pointed at the rim. So let's all try that right now together. Just go ahead and stand up where you're at and get your footprint, get a little bit tilted. And we're going to just get a little hop in our shot here. And I want you to really pick a target with a quiet eye. And I want you to really align your mechanism or your finish with the rim, but allow your hips and feet to turn. Let's go ahead and just shoot one right now. You're almost looking down the barrel of a gun. You're looking down like a release down your target line, allowing your body to turn. Just like throwing a dart. Just like throwing a dart. In fact, the wrist pronation, the smooth release, and the tilted footprint are very dart-like. So let's go ahead and get this one more time. Really imagine how this can relate to your shooting because it's so pure. Smooth sequence, wrist pronation, looking down the target line. Even this next dart thrower that isn't as smooth, he's looking down his target line. Notice what the dip in this. Notice the dip. He dips it back to go forward. Dip, dip, dip. Smooth and trust your shot. You are now set up to generate more power, shoot further out, and make more threes more consistently than you ever have before. This is the secret sauce. I'm so glad that you have it now.